y bienvenidos a la Daily Hustle. Soy Enrique Byrnes y presidente de esa mejor cerveza. No Abate por No Filter Network. Miguelito San Dieguito not with us today. Will the Thrill Clark not with us today either, but will be with us tomorrow, 6 p.m. Pacific time for another edition of Deuces Wild. But as you guys know, here or not here, dead or alive, we properly salute our boys, with or without the foam fingers. Yes, 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 yes! Woo! Remember this, folks, when we are juiceful, we are useful, and when we are juiceless, we are fucking useless. A very pleasant, a late good morning to you on the West Coast, and a very pleasant good afternoon to you on the East Coast, where I happen to be in Hilton Head, South Carolina. It's been a fun few days. We actually went out to Bristol, Tennessee / Virginia. It is right on the Tennessee-Virginia border. So we stayed in Virginia, but we ended up playing pickleball in Tennessee. It was a good run. I think the more that I participate in these things, obviously the more comfortable you're going to get. But you also soon realize that you want to take advantage of opportunities when you have them. And so both Biscuit and I battled our asses off one day in singles. I mean, there was, I think, 4 matches I played that were all within 3-4 points. We played one game up to 15, an absolute battle. This last one I ended up dropping. It was, I think, 16-14, just gnarly. And then on the double side, we ended up going 2-2. It is a little difficult, and I think I ask a lot of my kid, a 12-year-old, to come play a 4-0 plus against grown-ass men, but he hangs just fine, and we just missed the bracket play. So it's the way the ball bounces overall. I think it was a fantastic weekend of winning and learning. I think there's a process that you have to go to if you want to get to the top. You don't just start at the top. You have to go through this, and you have to go through all of the growing pains. Played a few hours this morning in Hilton Head. Just awesome, awesome, awesome games. Not sure if I played much better. And I think that's an accumulation of putting the time in. It's like in anything, right? Like you're going to get out what you put in. So overall, we are here in Hilton Head, heading to Savannah tomorrow, and then to Cary, North Carolina. But we'll be super cool to catch up with Viro and Gillum, and hopefully see Jesse out there, and obviously all the players. It'd be really cool experience. It's been a minute, so I think it might be a little euphoric as we roll into Grayson Stadium tomorrow to say what's up. All right, today's Daily Hustle electronic email communication went out this morning. Buenos dias. Today is Monday, August 19th, 2024, and Friday just so happened to be my 48th and a half birthday. When we are born, our family members refer to our age in weeks and then months. Then when we hit 2, we begin the 6-month age declaration cycle, usually up until 15 and a half, which of course is the age we become eligible for a driving permit. After that, we go year to year, with 18 becoming the big B day when we can become eligible to vote and smoke, 21 to get sussed up, and 25 to ghost ride a Hertz rent-a-car off a cliff, so long as you have purchased the over-the-top bend me over insurance option. After that, you got the dirty 30, porty 40, fuck it 50, sexy 60, suck it 70, grade 80, gnarly 90. And if any of us are so lucky, 100 years to look forward to. Ironically, we typically tend to tame down the celebrations with each passing year, and at some point along the way, we die, and the party's over. When I played for the Sacramento River Cats, our broadcaster was a dude by the name of Johnny Doskow. For whatever reason, Johnny is a huge half birthday fan, and each year since I met him, I've received a happy half birthday video message, currently 24 straight years in counting. The first few half birthday wishes I got, I would just laugh and write them off as Johnny B. Johnny. Then, after a few more, I realized Johnny was onto something special. He not only was using this as an opportunity to celebrate a silly, often unrecognized day and a friendship, but most importantly, he was using it as an opportunity to celebrate life. We talk all the time in the Daily Hustle about the process and how imperative it is to champion the small wins along the way. Well, on Friday, my fellow hustlers, I once again got another Johnny video gem and then secretly ordered a half birthday dessert while at dinner with my family to remind them that it was my half birthday and a beautiful time to celebrate a monumental day in the process of being fucking alive. So here's the half birthday pie that was delivered. My family lost it. So for a few years now, I've been really harping this half birthday thing. And I know, just like you guys are probably laughing, as all my friends laugh at it. I get it. Is it a laughing matter? Of course it's a laughing matter, but that's also what makes it so beautiful, because it is something where we need to understand that every birthday as we get older, it's not a treacherous experience. It's not a, oh my goodness, like I don't even want to celebrate anymore, this and that, whatever. Fuck that. We're celebrating life. We're celebrating the process of being alive. We're celebrating the small wins. And more now than anything, it's like my birthday, yeah, whatever. The half birthday, that's the one that matters to me. So, Johnny, I can't thank you enough for getting not only me, but my entire family now in the half birthday tradition, as they're all calculating their half birthdays and making up half birthday present list and so on and so on and so on. But it is certainly a day that I now have become obsessed with and will continue to be going forward. All right, some of the big news articles over the weekend that really got me. The one big one was yesterday. So I started getting blown up on Friday by KNBR, by 95.7, wanting to get me on the radio to come talk about the Bay Bridge series, and this being the very last game officially of the Bay Bridge series. Now, I will most likely, I think, go on later today with Tolbert, and we're going to talk about it. The question that becomes, because I was going back and forth with Susan Slusser, who is the longtime beat writer of the Oakland A's and now with the San Francisco Giants, writes for the San Francisco Chronicle. But Susan was saying, hey, what are your thoughts on it? I'm like, I don't know. I mean, it's, it meant something to me, right? Like when I was a kid, and I posted this yesterday on IG, there's a picture that I have of myself decked out in the A's starter jacket, A's hat, my sister in Giants gear, my dad in a Carnegie sweater. Is that what it's called? I don't know. Standing behind us. And we're standing in front of the Volkswagen Bug that my dad had got for my mom. And it was kind of it wasn't a joke, but my mom had a speeding problem when she was a bit younger. She likes to drive fast, so she kept getting tickets. And so to slow her down, my dad got her the convertible Bug and got rid of the BMW, as we used to call it. But I remember taking the Bug over to the Coliseum during the day game, and we lived in Woodside. And so we rolled over to Roberts Market, picked up a couple sandwiches, and then we would drive from Woodside where, during the summer months, like it would get hot. And then we'd roll into like the San Mateo Bridge area. where it would really cool down. And then you get back over to Oakland where we warm up again. So I remember I said shotgun. And when we went over the bridge with the, you know, whatever, the cool air, like I'd be freezing. I'm like, damn. So I turn the heater on and I get underneath the front seat where the heater would really come out. And I'd sit there and warm up on the way there and on the way back. And just really cool experiences. The 1989 World Series, I was at game four, the clincher game, in which the A's were celebrating the Giants field. The last out, I like vividly have a picture of that in my memory sitting in section 62. So many great, awesome memories from my childhood of that A's Giants rivalry, the split nacho helmets, all the above. So then to have an opportunity to play in that series, super cool. The geez, I didn't even think about it, but I hit my first home run. I mean, I mentioned the cycle, but I hit my first home run ever in the big leagues against Sean Estes of the Giants, 62,000 people or whatever the freaking number was. I mean, 50 plus for sure at the Coliseum. And then, and I think that was 2001. 2003, I end up hitting for the cycle. And then I think it was 2004 or 2005 on a Sunday game against the Giants at Pac Bell. I had a career high, two homers, I think 6 RBIs, but just another big game. It's obviously a series that, as a player, it meant more. And I could try to tell you that it didn't, but it did. And so to see that go, it's sad. Now, I think so long as the A's are still in Northern California and so long as they're still taking the 80 and going over the Bay Bridge, or the Giants doing the same thing to get the sack, I can't imagine that the Giants would, you know, fly to Sacramento, right? You're making that shuttle run. It's an hour and a half up the road. So long as that's still there, I think the rivalry, it's not Oakland anymore, but I think there will be something to the sack thing. Now, when the A's go to Las Vegas, if the A's go to Las Vegas, then I think it will take on an entirely new meaning at that point. But as for now, fuck, man, I'm gonna miss it. The last thing that I brought up and decided you post, and it was basically the mascot race. So to have the A's and the Giants support the triathlon across America, and the night before we actually took off on the triathlon across America, I had that mascot race at the Coliseum where I ended up full sending it, laying out at the very end of the race to take down Eckersley and Henderson and Raleigh Fingers at the table. The funny thing about that, people ask me about the mascot race a lot. Look, like, I had to absolutely lay everything I had on the line to win that fucking race. If I had slacked a one bit at any point, there was zero chance, because I full sent it all the way around, which made me think I left way too early if they're trying to set up for me to win. But I went all the way around, full send speed, and they had started to slow down, but it wasn't like they were going to be able to stop to let me win or anything else. So full sent it all the way through, and just a really cool memory. The best part about that was right after, my boy Kowalski was with me and did so much of the triathlon across America with me as well. He videos the whole thing. He keeps the video rolling as we're all walking off the field, and we walk onto the stairs and we're walking up. And right after that, I believe it was Pablo Sandoval, Kung Fu Panda, hits a fucking ball onto the staircase. Kowalski has camera in one hand, snags the ball in the other. Like, one of the coolest things that ever happened. Like, we were just, no, like, this isn't real. This isn't real. Well, anyhow. All right. So the Giants bid farewell to Oakland with an untouchable Snell and 10th inning home runs. This is an article from The Athletic from Maria Guardado. This is actually a really good article I wanted to share. Giants manager Bob Melvin wanted to take time to appreciate the final game at the Coliseum, so he made sure to beat the rush by arriving at 7:15 a.m. on Sunday. Just as he did during his 11 seasons at the helm of the A's, Melvin ran the stairs and looked up at the retired numbers of the Oakland greats that crowned the top of Mount Davis. He caught up with security guards, ballpark vendors, and other staffers. He wore white shoes, a nod to the A's signature look, and took out the lineup card, allowing him to soak in every moment of the final Bay Bridge series game. Quote, it's sad. First of all, because it's going to be the last game that I'll be here, Melvin said. There's a lot to it today. There's a lot of emotions today. I've spent a lot of my life here. The Giants made sure Melvin's final memory of the Coliseum would be a good one as Encarnacion and Michael Conforto launched back-to-back home runs at the top of the 10th inning to lift the club to a dramatic 4-2 win over the A's on the Sunday afternoon series finale. It was kind of appropriate that the game ended like that, said Melvin. When I was here, we had so many walk-offs and so many extra inning wins and so many close games. The fans are going crazy. Both sides going crazy. I don't know how it could have been more perfect to end it like this, obviously, with us winning. I mean, I'm sure A's fans would have liked everything the same except the reversal of scores. The late homers ensured the Giants didn't squander another dominant start from left-hander Blake Snell, who struck out 10 over 7 innings of one-run ball. Snell now has a 1.03 ERA over his last 8 starts. I mean, he has been fucking dominate. He has reached double-digit strikeouts in 4 of his last 5 outings, and 2-time Cy Young Award winners racked up 55 strikeouts over his last 5 starts, passing John Montefusco, 54 in 1975, for the most in a 5-game span by a Giants pitcher since at least 1901. That surprised me a little bit. I mean, if you think about the fact that they've had Tim Lincecum, they've had Matt Cain, they've had some fucking dudes. I mean, just even Logan Webb, right? Zito when he would get hot. I mean, they had some strikeout pitchers, yet nobody since 1901 has struck out more over a 5-start span. Quote, he looks untouchable, Conforto said. We know he's going to give us a chance. We know he's going to give us everything he got. So, anyhow, that's it. A sad day, certainly, for the city of Oakland. A sad day for, I think, the Oakland Athletics franchise. A sad day for the Bay Area a little bit. You want to think about who's losing here. It's probably them. It is. I think for years, Bay Area has very well supported 2 baseball teams. It makes me wonder, look, the A's and the East Bay, how they couldn't make that fucking work is beyond me. And yeah, say what you want about the city of Oakland, and I think they completely fucking dropped the ball now with their third sports franchise. It's tough. It really is. There's no other way to put it. I mean, it's striking. What do they say? It was, fool me once, fool me twice, fool me twice, whatever it is. It happens 3 fucking times. What's the one common denominator of all of Oakland's problems? It's Oakland. That's it. The one fucking common denominator is Oakland. They're the ones that let them go. So who's ever responsible for them keeping their sports team, whether it was the Warriors, whether it was the Raiders, whether it was the Oakland A's, I can't help you guys. I don't think anyone can help you guys. You've decided to allocate your resources elsewhere. And look, I don't know enough about the politics of things to truly understand that. I do know that a downtown ballpark or a ballpark right down there in Jack London Square would have been fucking awesome. It would have revamped the area. It would have energized a city. It would have energized a fan base. The fact that the A's offices were right there in Jack London Square, it's just sad. It's sad to see, not only obviously the A's fucking up, but the city of Oakland just absolutely butcher it. So onward and upward. That's it. It will be fun to see them play in SAC next year as the rivalry, I think, will certainly continue. Okay, the power rankings. After a short lived drop, we have a new number one. Remember when everyone was freaking out about the Phillies? All it took was one hot week to turn it all back around after winning four in a row before dropping the series finale against the Nationals on Sunday. The Phillies have fought all the way back to a 7-game division lead, the best record in the National League, and most importantly, the top spot in our power rankings. There probably was never much reason to worry about the Phillies. I was never worried about the Phillies. These rankings are always compiled from rankings from MLB.com contributors whose names you can find at the bottom of this. And every piece, but the words are mine. If you dislike the rankings, yell at all of us. But if you dislike the words, just yell at me. Whose article is this? Will Leitich. He's good. He's really good. Okay, number one, the Phils. Any season as great as the Phillies are having needs to have some folk hero moments, and they sure got one on Thursday when 29-year-old rookie Weston Wilson, what a great name, by the way, hit for the 10th cycle in Phillies history. Wilson, who has 2,865 at-bats in the minors, called it a testament to perseverance. We call it one of those great baseball stories. Certainly congrats to Weston Wilson and the Phillies for reclaiming the top spot of the power rankings. Number two, the New York Yankees. Aaron Judge has a 277 OPS plus in the second half of the season. Come on. An absolutely ridiculous number that would be the highest in the American League since World War II if it happened for a whole season. How do I know that? Because Judge's full season OPS is 222, which would be the second highest in the AL since the World War II. The best OPS plus since World War II was 233 in 1957, posted by none other than Ted Williams, who certainly knew precisely when World War II was. He was a fighter pilot in World War II. Different era. Number three, the Baltimore Orioles. Gunnar Henderson, after another homer on Sunday, he now has 4 homers in his last 5 games, but the real excitement Sunday was Albert Suarez, who threw 6 more shutout innings, extended his scoreless streak to 17 2/3. Who said the Orioles had a starting pitcher issue? Good for Albert Suarez. It's a righty spotting it up. Number 4 on the power rankings, the Dodgers. Since an insider told USA Today's Bob Nightingale that the Dodgers were privately concerned about Clayton Kershaw, he has given up 2 runs in 11 2/3 innings in 2 starts, both Dodgers wins. It is so nice to see Kershaw being something resembling Kershaw again. The Dodgers are surely not concerned anymore, privately or otherwise. Number 5, the Guardians. Still hanging around, aren't they? The Guardians are causing everybody whiplash. Since July 10th, they've lost 7 of 9, won 8 of 10, lost 7 straight, won 5 straight, and lost 3 straight. I mean, this is fucking incredible. Well, they're still there, atop the AL Central. Number 6, the Brewers. The Brewers are now 20 games over 500 for the first time all year. This team, in case you forgot, lost its manager, Craig Counsell, and its ace, Corbin Byrnes, and have been ravaged by injuries, most painfully to Christian Yelich, who's now out for the year. And remember, last year's 92-win NL Central winning team, the one had all those players. This one is clearly better. That's crazy. Good for look. The Brewers and the Guardians are in the same category for me. Low expectations have far surpassed them. Great fucking job by Stephen Vogt. If this guy's not the manager of the year, if Pat Murphy's not the manager of the year, I don't know who the fuck is. Literally, those are the dudes that continue to inspire their team. They do a really good job in putting their guys in position to succeed. That's what a manager does. And we'll see how they end up doing in the postseason. I don't necessarily see either one of those teams making a long run, but If you get a team that's streaky, like the Indians, like the Brewers, if they get on a roll, look out. Number 7, the Twins. Remember when everyone was worried about the Twins? A great athletic writer, Aaron Gleeman, pointed out this week that the Twins have followed 4 bad weeks by playing at a 100-win pace for 4 months. Wow. We should stop thinking that they're in the muddle with everyone else, or that's what he said, the muddle with everyone else, and start thinking this is one of the absolute best teams in baseball. Meh. I'm not ready to give them that. They're good. They're good. Could they certainly beat anybody in any given series? Yes. One of the best teams in baseball? Yeah, not there. Number 8, the Padres. If Padre fans are wondering if it has been as good as it is right now, the answer may well be no. Had the Padres beaten the Rockies on Sunday, they would have won their 9th consecutive series, which would have been the most series they've won in a row in franchise history, a loss. They're now still tied at 8, which they did most recently in 2007. They're still only 3 games behind the Dodgers in the NL West. I would not be shocked either if they end up winning the NL West. Number 9, the Astros. The Astros reached a season high 11 games over 500 with their win on Sunday, and they've won 10 of their last 11. The only loss in that time was to the White Sox. And remember, they're doing all this without Kyle Tucker, who took batting practice over the weekend but still hasn't started a rehab assignment. Sure looks like he'll be back for the inevitable playoff appearance, though. At number 10, the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks have won 9 straight series. I mean, shit. We were just talking about the Padres going for 9 straight series. Well, the Diamondbacks have done it. 6 games in a row until they came into the Trop over the weekend and out of nowhere got swept through the Trop's tough place to play. Tough place, especially you take a National League team, you go into fucking Tampa Bay, there's 3 people in the stands, although the Diamondbacks should be somewhat used to that. They do have Guy, I think, hopefully he's still there, best visiting clubhouse dude in the major leagues and one of the best visiting clubhouses in the major leagues. At least it was when I played. But it's tough. It is a really, really tough place to play. So they got swept in Tampa in their first 3-game losing streak since late June. It came at a very unfortunate time. If they could have kept that win streak going against the Rays all weekend, they'd be within 1 game of the Dodgers right now. Well, they're fucking not. So why were you even bringing that up? And we're going to stop here. We're going to go to 11. And then I would get to the next article. Number 11 here is the Kansas City Royals. How far have the Royals come this season by completing their sweep over the Reds on Sunday? They've earned their 8th series sweep of the season. They had a total of 5 sweeps combined in 2022 and 2023. Rounding out the rest of the MLB, number 12 is the Braves, 13 the Red Sox, 14 the Mets, 15 the Mariners, 16 the Giants, 17 the Cardinals, 18 the Cubs, 19 the Rays, 20 the Reds, 21 Tigers, 22 Rangers. It's low for the defending World Series champs. 23 Pirates, 24 Nationals, 25 Blue Jays, 26 A's, 27 Angels, 28 Rockies, 29 Marlins, and of course, at the bottom of the list, your Chicago White Sox. As standings, you got Baltimore on top of the American League East, tied with the New York Yankees. It'd be tough for me not to put either one of those teams as the number 1 team in baseball. I mean, they have identical records. Let's see, 73 wins as the Phillies. Fuck, the Phillies have the best record. They only have 51 losses, 52 losses for Baltimore and New York. You got Boston sitting 7 games back, and then Tampa at 62 and 61 are 10 games back. Cleveland's on top of the Central. The Twins are 2 back. KC is 3 back. Then you got Detroit, who's under 500 at 11 and a half back. They're 61 and 64. In case you're curious about the White Sox, they're 42 and a half out of the AL Central, 30 and 95. In the AL West, the Houston Astros are now building a considerable lead. They're 4 games up on Seattle, and this goes back to Alex Bregman last year with his infamous comment. I wonder what a lot of people asking what would happen if the Astros didn't win the AL West. And then Bregman said, well, I guess we'll never find out. Last year, they pulled off a miracle to win the West. And this year, they were in the fucking tank and have somehow turned it around. And now they are 4 up. So his comments are ringing true once again. Seattle 64-61, 4 out. Texas, party's over there. I mean, damn. 57-68 for Bruce Bochy and the crew, 11 games out. The A's respectively, 53-71. They're fighting for that last spot. But just think of the fact that the A's have 23 more wins than the White Sox. That's a testament to Mark Kotsay and the crew doing a really good job keeping those boys playing. In the National League, the Phillies 7 up on the Braves, 9 up on the Mets in the National League East. Milwaukee 11. I mean, fuck, man. Holy shit. 11 games up. I mean, Milwaukee's got one of the best records in baseball. 11 games up in the NL Central. Like, this is not up for grabs. It's over. St. Louis is tanked. The Cubs are tanked. Cincinnati's fucking tanked. 11, 11 and a half, and 12 back. These other clubs should be ashamed. And Milwaukee, be proud. Wow. The Dodgers, they are 3 up on San Diego. They are 4 up on the Arizona Diamondbacks, 10.5 up on the Giants. So the wild card picture will go over here. It is, let's see here. Baltimore, the Yankees would hold that top spot, one or the other, right? Because the other one's winning the AL East. Cleveland and Houston are the other division leaders. So from a wild card perspective, you'll have Baltimore, the Yankees as wild card team number 1, the Twins at wild card team number 2, and Kansas City as the 3rd wild card team. Boston is 3.5 back of that spot. Seattle 5.5 back. I fucking write off Seattle. I'm done with them. But Boston's still looking at it like there certainly could be a chance. All right, in the National League, the Phillies, the Dodgers, and the Brewers are leading the divisions, just like I said. And then it would be San Diego and Arizona. I mean, how about that shit? 2 NL West teams. So there's 3 teams from the NL West making the playoffs, and then Atlanta holds that 3rd spot. But don't look now, because the New York Metropolitans, 64-60, are just 2 games back of Atlanta, and then the Giants, 4 games back of that last wild card spot. The win yesterday certainly helped. Let's go over a couple more things. Look, this past weekend, there was this happened actually yesterday, a rare double play that has not happened since 1900. That's right. The Marlins turned an unprecedented, ready for this? 8-9-4-2 triple play. So immediately, I'm out here in South Carolina, and I'm talking to the family. And I said, okay, here is the scenario. 8-9-4-2 double play. How did it happen? And my thought, before even looking at the video, none of us can look at the video. My thought was fly ball, center field, diving catch, or crashes into the wall, flips the ball to the right fielder into the second baseman to home, getting the guy who had tagged up from second and was trying to come around and score. Well, folks, I fucking drilled it, because it's exactly what happened. A fantastic play by the Marlins, and good on Skip Schumacher and the boys. Like, look, I know a lot of people, Jason Hart, John Mabry, they FaceTime me over 4th of July. They're all part of the Florida Marlins or Miami Marlins staff. Really rooting for those guys. Paul Severino, my former office mate, play-by-play guy, did a terrific job on that call as well. So just a a fun play and something fun to be a part of. If you guys are not paying attention to what's going on in Williamsport, turn the fucking TV on. It's good stuff. Besides the kids going at it and everything, they do such a terrific job with that every single year. The Tigers and the Yankees ended up having an awesome game last night. The Tigers walked it off in dramatic fashion, but it's all the sub stories, whether it was Jazz Chisholm in the stands and talking with the kids and being an integral part of the broadcast. I thought he did a terrific job just being Jazz. I, Everything about it, with the players mic'd up on the field making plays. I mean, it was just really, really cool to watch. It gives you this warm feeling about our game, and I enjoyed all of it. Spencer Torkelson, though, reunited with his Little League coach in Williamsport. This is an article about this yesterday, or excuse me, this morning. The Tigers first baseman Spencer Torkelson and his former Little League coach, Rick Duarte, sat side by side in the empty row at Volunteer Stadium. The pair took the opportunity to catch up and talk about all things baseball, from Little League World Series game happening in front of them to changes in the bats. It was a full circle moment. It's just a pride that maybe I had a little bit to do with something that he's taken from his Little League days and has carried forward into what he's doing now. Said Duarte, who coached the Little League for over 40 years. Williamsport is the ultimate vacation destination for Duarte, who has traveled to the Little League World Series since 1989. There have been two instances in 35 years in which he was reunited with former players. The first was Johnny Gomes, who attended a game in 2012, and the second now is Spencer Torkelson, who is part of the 2024 Little League Classic. Quote, it's just amazing to see somebody that was once one of those kids grow up to be a major leaguer. It's just incredible, Duarte said. I think it's super important for these kids to see that. These guys were their age, size, and skill level at one time, and they had the same dream to be a major league player. They're everyday kids that once in a while became an MLB player. It was once a dream for Torkelson, the number one overall pick in the 2020 MLB draft, to have the opportunity to experience the Little League World Series. He almost had the opportunity when Torkelson was a Little Leaguer. His team, Petaluma Valley, beat the Petaluma National team in the first championship game. However, Petaluma Valley lost the second game, and Petaluma National traveled to Williamsport. Isn't that crazy how that goes? There was Paseo Verde team. I don't know how they're doing in Williamsport, but the Paseo Verde team from Vegas ended up beating the team that beat Colton's team, the Reno National team, and got out of that. It's just sometimes it can look so far away, but then when you start breaking it down, it's actually very real. When I went there one year, and it's one of the most magical places I've ever been on earth. It really is. It's Field of Dreams in Williamsport, from a baseball perspective, are 1-2. There's nothing better. It's just fucking awesome. It's magical. It's spiritual. It is the holy ground for baseball. Field of Dreams, Williamsport, 1A, 1B. Both of them are that cool. If you are a baseball fan, don't even hesitate. Go and go now. That's how bullish I am on how special Williamsport is. So, anyway, Torkelson, by the way, just called back up. Really cool story, because this is a guy that had been struggling. They sent him down in the minor leagues. And that's tough. I mean, this is number one pick of the draft, right? So, scuffling, sent him down in the minor leagues, works on some things, comes back up, and he's been swinging the bat terrific since he's been back. He's also worked on his defense. Certainly a guy that I will be rooting for, Bay Area guy. He's also somebody that I followed and did his games when he was at Arizona State, both him and Andrew Vaughn, when Vaughn was with Cal and Torkelson with ASU. One of the best college hitters I've ever seen. I mean, I was watching him as a freshman too, just going, holy shit, man. I mean, he literally is that good. So the whole Williamsport thing, Just super, super special. Another guy who played in that game was Aaron Judge. And Judge right now, yeah, that's just two more things and you're going to get out of here. But basically, Aaron Judge mentioned earlier what he's doing and what he's been doing since the All Star break is just fucking historic. It's so next level. The OPS plus since the All Star break, we're just in uncharted territory at this point. And so there's a whole article here, about his parents. And I think as a parent right now, I can tell you that I struggle at times. I do. And I struggle on the best approach to get the best out of my children, all of them. Both of my girls, I have a 14 and 15-year-old girl and a soon to be 13-year-old boy. And I have said it a lot, and ironically, right here, the Let Them Play book, as you see the cover on my watch face. But I talked about the introductory years, right? This is 0 to 6 for me, where we're introducing the kids to life and we're teaching them some basic sportsmanship stuff. And we're just showing them, okay, this is the game of baseball, and this is swimming, and this is running, and this is fun, and this is the physical benefits that you're going to receive. And then you look at the 7 to 12, and I think really those are the years where I call them the formative years, where we have a chance to really form the children into being the people and players that they are capable of becoming. We certainly do this by introducing skill practices, by introducing a little bit of sports psychology without calling it that. The making sure they understand what the proper attitude is, what the proper effort is. And so that's the 7 to 12 years that is so pivotal. And then when they break down or melt down, we're either there to pat them on the back or kick them in the ass. And it's generally one or the other. And sometimes it can be the pat them on the back and kick them in the ass approach. All this is very detailed in the book. And then I think you get to those 13 years. And I was 13 years old and beyond, and those are the guiding years. All of a sudden, we guide our children, not just at 13, but really for the rest of their lives in whatever endeavor that they choose. And so I reading this article on Aaron Judge today, when I look at a big leaguer and I think, man, like if I had one of my children be so fortunate to ever be in that position, Aaron Judge is probably at or near the top of the list of guys that I would want him to emulate. And I'm not just talking about from a success standpoint, obviously, on the baseball field, but how he conducts himself off of it, how he conducts himself in competition. He is the gold standard. So this article is titled All Rise for the Parents Who Raised Judge from Little League to Today. Aaron Judge was the center of attention as the Yankees took in the sights and sounds of the Little League World Series on Sunday afternoon, with thousands of youngsters clamoring for a moment of the captain's time. There were autographs, there were selfies, there were hugs. Amid another fine season that seems likely to produce his second American League Most Valuable Player award, Judge acknowledges that none of this would be possible without the help of his parents, Patty and Wayne. Those supporters of Judge's life were honored in an on-field ceremony between the scheduled Little League World Series game between Pull-Up Washington and Newton, Pennsylvania. In her remarks to the crowd, Patty recalled how a 2-year-old Judge once wandered off during his older brother's Little League opening day game in Linden, California. Quote, "We were there to have such a grand time, and if it wasn't for Little League parents like you, I would not have found Aaron," Patty Judge said. "He just ran through the field, saw some friends in 2 seconds, and he was gone, but Little League saved him. And I really wanted to thank you all for representing your children in Little League." A pair of school teachers, Patty and Wayne, adopted Aaron when he was 2 days old, prioritizing the importance of learning sports. It's helped me to live to a higher standard. Judge once said they wanted me to always make sure I put education first and make sure I prioritized everything. If I was going to make plans, stick to them. Make sure I'm on a tight schedule and make sure I don't miss anything. Not that Judge was always so understanding, sometimes that he laughed about it years later. Quote, I wanted to go outside and play with my friends or play some video games, but they were tough on me, Judge said. They'd say, hey, you got to do your homework. You got to finish your math homework and your science homework. And then if you have time left over before dinner, then you can go play. Sometimes something like that. I didn't like it as a kid, but looking back on it, I really appreciate what it did for me. Judge's All Rise Foundation, which he runs with his parents, is dedicated to inspiring children to become responsible citizens by engaging in activities that encourage them to reach unlimited possibilities. Quote, congratulations to all the teams, Patty. Judge said, you guys have been doing hard work. Good luck. And I want to see what you're doing in the future in 10 years. So a good article, and I think a good approach just to parenting, because sometimes we seem like the asshole by saying, no, get your homework done, or no, you cannot spend that time on the phone. But as I often question myself if I'm taking the right approach as a parent, I think I read something like this. It's like, yeah, fuck yeah, I am. It's look, they're not always going to be your best friend. I think at times down the road, there will be a time for that again. I think right now we have to police a little bit, and we have to make sure we continue to guide. Ultimately, their success in the classroom and their success on the athletic field is going to be up to them. So I'll just continue to guide and continue to be the best father I can be. And if down the road that means, hey, we're best friends, great. But you have a responsibility. We have a responsibility as parents. I think even me as a coach, yeah, it matters. And so, first and foremost, do the right thing. That's it. Make sure they do the right thing. These are the things that you need to prioritize in your life. This is structure in your life that you need. And all of it is for a reason. Okay, here is this awesome story from the other night. So I tell my family, we're sitting at dinner in Hilton Head, South Carolina. And Aaron Judge pops up on the TV. And they were talking about how Aaron Judge is going to be the slam dunk American League most valuable player. And so I immediately interject. I'm like, look, I do appreciate the historic season that Aaron Judge is having. It's fucking insane. But I do also believe that there's another guy that is one of the most underappreciated superstars in the game of baseball that, in my humble opinion right now, I think I could and would give him the most valuable player award. So then we had this big guessing game on who this guy could be. Well, Biscuit eventually discovered Bobby Witt Jr. He's that good. The fact that he's hitting 352. Now, look, Judge is in the 330s, which is great. 350 at a day and age where nobody fucking hits 300. This dude's over 350. He's got 25 stolen bases. He plays shortstop at a Gold Glove caliber level. He's one of the fastest three players in baseball. He's that good. It's just insane that he's not getting the attention and love that he deserves. Now, him playing in Kansas City surely has something to do with that. So after all of this, I'm like, I'm not the biggest believer in the WAR stat, wins above replacement, but it is a way to quantify your all-around game. So ultimately, I said, screw it. Let's go to WAR and see what they have to say as far as who's having the best season in the American League right now. And so there it was. Aaron Judge and Bobby Witt Jr. basically neck and neck, as I suspected. The crazy thing in all of this is that neither one of them were fucking on top. It was Gunnar Henderson of the Baltimore Orioles, who is now homered in 4 of his past 5 games and another homer on Sunday, and has got the O's on top of the American League East. Gunnar Henderson plays shortstop, the primo position, and obviously plays it really, really well. Is an amazing base runner and has been killing it for Baltimore from start to finish, a model of fucking consistency. So now I'm looking at this, and as people continue to celebrate Judge, and obviously now we bring Bobby Witt Jr. into the mix, we can't leave out Gunnar Henderson. We can't. If the writers get this right, or whoever is voting on this, and I know the players have a little bit of a say now, the managers, coaches, whatever, this is going to be a race that comes down to the fucking wire. Because I know the players know. I know the managers know. I know the coaches know. Will the fans know? Will the writers know? Will they be swayed by the New York media? Am I going to say that Gunnar Henderson is the MVP right now? No. I'm going to say Bobby Witt Jr.? No. Am I going to say Aaron Judge? Absolutely not, though. I will not say that. What we have for these last couple months of the season, I mean, less than that, right? Like month and a half, month and a couple weeks, is going to be one of the best races we've ever seen for the American League most valuable player. Aaron Judge, Bobby Witt Jr., and Gunnar Henderson. Buckle your fucking seatbelts. This is going to be a show. All right, that's it. On tomorrow night with Will the Thrill, probably will not do a daily hustle tomorrow because we will be doing a Deuces Wild from Savannah tomorrow night, and then daily hustle back on Wednesday. So that's it. Everyone have a fantastic day. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, please do us a favor. If you could give us a 5-star rating, we'd be greatly appreciative. And by the way, we are sponsored by Verge. Try Verge. This is ginger, honey, lemon, just fucking greatness. A little bit of cannabis in there as well. We are also sponsored by ericbyrnes.com. That's right. This is where you could get your foot reflexology board. I'd stand on this thing, I don't know, 5-10 minutes in the morning, 5-10 minutes in the evening. It increases blood flow, reduces inflammation, reduces pain. Look, I'm only selling what I smoke. That's it. This is what I smoke each and every single morning, each and every single night. That is it. And then pick up a copy of the Let Them Play parenting and coaching guide to youth sports as well while you're there at ericbyrnes.com. And then let's not forget Bet Online, the #1 online gambling destination. Type in the promo code BLEAV, capital BLEAV, to get 50% off your first deposit. Bet Online, the game starts here. If you guys want to go play the online casino or anything else, go for that. They got slots. They got everything for all of you degenerates. And I say that in an endearing way, and I'm one of them too. All right. Have a great day.